Yo, what's up, guys? Before we get into this interview, I just wanted to say that this is based off of my trap podcast that I have on Spotify. I will link it in the description. It is also on other platforms as well. This is technically going to be the third episode. I might put the first two episodes that I had on that podcast onto YouTube, but we're going to see about it. And as well, this is my first official interview thing, so I don't know exactly how it would turn out, but hope you guys enjoyed this one, and yeah. Hey everybody, welcome to this beautiful interview with me, Young with Music, and my man, my guest, Boi Mystery. Say what's up.
What's good? How we doing?
So, this is the first time I've ever done this, and we're gonna see how this goes. I'm meaning to do this for a while, but just haven't really done it yet. I guess if there's nothing else to say, let's just jump right into it. So the first question I have for you, with this new album coming out, and I haven't listened to it yet, I don't know what to expect, but what style changes can we expect from this new project that we really haven't seen before, I guess, from especially your last album, Run the Ville?
Well, after a year without an album, I got to come back and really reflect on the work I've done over this past year and some change. I actually have changed a lot as an artist. I've grown with the guys I've met down here in Columbia, and they've really shown me some different styles, and I've caught some different vibes in some different ways. Changed up the flow a little bit, changed up the style a little bit, changed up the lyricism the slightest bit. I feel like the fusion's going to be really good, and the style is definitely something to note. It's much different. It's much harder. If you like what trap is becoming today, you're going to like this album for sure.
All right. And the second question I have for you, going back to that first question in relation to this one, since it has been over a year since this album is released, like, what can we expect from this one as opposed, to your other previous work, even projects such as like Still Summer in the Ville?
Well, all I can really say to speak to that is you can expect a lot of artist evolution from me. Of course, the album's going to sound completely different. The beat selection's different, the lyricism is different, the topics are different. The vibe especially is different. I'd say that compared to Run the Ville, this album is just 10 steps up.
That's awesome.
We've really taken a gigantic leap forward in a short amount of time, in my opinion. And I'm looking forward to seeing what people think of it.
That's cool. Yeah. Another one I got for you is, who would you say was your biggest influence or some of your biggest influences for this project?
I'd say my three biggest influences for this album are SSG Kobe, Sofago, and probably Gunna. Right now, it's just kind of a mix of experimenting with flows over these different plug-in me beats. Shout out my boy OC Dallas. He kind of put me onto that wave, and me and him kind of been riding that wave ever since. And I think this album kind of fuses that with my normal traps, some stuff that you would kind of hear in Run the Ville, but more of that, dancey flow and unorthodox cadence.
That's cool, and it's crazy that we can really have these influencers these influences from all these different genres and different parts of this genre pretty much help us kind of dictate what we do with our sound sometimes. It's crazy. It's just crazy. Another one I have for you that I feel like you've probably been asked before, but I guess I haven't, I don't know. I guess I was always wondering, what's a normal day in the studio for you look like? I guess especially when recording this project as well. I know especially since you went off to college and other stuff like that, I'm sure it's a bit different than what it used to be. So I guess what I was wondering is, yeah, like what type of like what's a day in the life of for like in being in the studio and stuff.
Well, a day in the studio has only started quicker and ended later since I've left home. The studio is in the basement, and obviously, like, the house isn't soundproof, so you can't be making a lot of noise. But here, that's much different. I'll be cooking up at any time of day, going through beats, selecting beats, creating demos, finishing demos, adding on to demos, doing features, whatever. I also work a lot with my guys, Blizzo, Lucio, Dallas, Huncho Baby, Miles, guys in Como. We'll all pull through, do sessions wherever we can, try to get in as much music as we can. Because, the life is a lot different, but it also teaches you to manage your time well. And I'd say that more than adequate amount of my time is spent in the booth. Now, something else that's important that you should know about this album is this was recorded from, days before Run the Ville, around the start of May 2020, up until literally right now, the end of July 2021. So, it's been over a year of craft and selection and creation for me and all the producers I've been working with, all the new guys, all the 630 guys, all the new guys I've been working with from Como, all the new guys I've linked up with, all the guys in 630, all the people we've added to 630. So really, it's been going crazy. And I made a huge vault, and we had to narrow that vault down to the amount of songs I'm gonna put on there, and we're still working on that. But as of right now, we've pretty much got that main outline of a track list figured out, and let me tell you, we got some crazy stuff on there.
Cool. Like, I mean, I was always just wondering, so thought I'd toss it out there. The some of the other ones I've had as I'm going through this is what's like something different that would stand out on this album? Like what is there something that you haven't done before that appears on this joint? Like a new sound, some new I guess like something new with like the lyrics or like the, you know what I mean, or the flow, if the flow is different, just stuff like that. I guess I was wondering if there was any big like transition or if anything's changed a lot. I know there's definitely been a couple changes from like your style from Run and your sound from like Run the Ville to Still Summer. So I guess like what's the transition between I guess those two projects coming into this one?
I like to consider Still Summer in the Ville to be a half step between Run the Ville and this album. I'd say I was halfway about at the point in my progression between the point where I could have dropped something like Run the Ville as to where I could have dropped something like this coming album now. And really you have to look at what I'm trying to prove when I drop these albums. When I drop these projects, it's kind of trying to prove that I'm better than I was. Because my first project that I dropped was absolute dog shit. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. And I realized very quickly that the only way to, reconsolidate myself amongst my peers and amongst my fans and amongst my listeners was to create some good fucking music, That's all you can do. And so this album is completely off the dome. Freestyle, completely. Not much of this is written at all. I've been in the booth learning how to punch in, learning how to freestyle, learning how to come up with shit in my head. And that's all I've been doing. And my melody game is different, my flow game is faster, more concise, and my wordplay is more clever. And what this next album should really prove to the listener who has followed me through my evolution, the real fans, or just to someone who is listening for the first time is, I'm for real. This is no longer North's Best 2 Boi Mystery recording through his headphones. This is no longer Run the Ville Boi Mystery talking about women that broke his heart in high school. This is an artist with real industry potential, and it's against every single imaginable odd and every single mind of a hater back home that I am where I am right now, and that I am where I'm going to be in about 2 years. Mark my words. And this album is going to prove that to a lot of people who've been doubters, who've been haters throughout this entire time. And that's why all I can say right now is you just need to give it a listen, and you need to give it a chance, because it's a little bit different, and you might be a little surprised.
Awesome. Going back to the influences question, would they probably be like some of your favorite artists? Like, who is your favorite artist specifically?
Well, that's a really tough question. I honestly can't really answer that with one name or one person, because I have such a palette of music taste. I listen to all different types of music at different times depending on how I'm feeling, who I'm feeling, what I'm feeling. And I feel like that really contributes a lot to my versatility. You saw in Still Summer in the Ville, you saw influences from, Playboi Carti, Juice WRLD, Gunna, Young Thug, and even like Ian Dior and people like that. So like, I'm from all across the board in terms of trap. Right now I'd say that my favorite artists and my biggest influences, again, are probably SSG Kobe, SoFaygo, guys like that, the new school of trap. If you don't know, SoFaygo just signed to Cactus Jack, Travis Scott's label, so, the torch is being passed already in their direction, and I feel like by being influenced by those artists, by the leaders of now our generation, I'll quickly become a mainstay as an artist in that field, because as these guys have been working on perfecting this new sound, so have I over this past year, and you're about to see this sound come out through me. See, normally throughout the year, mystery fans are used to me dropping a lot of music, and while that's always a good thing in general, I kind of realized that I need some time to put my music under the microscope, put it through the grinder, figure out what's really good and what's bad about it in real life. I didn't want to just put it out there and say, fuck it, here's my album. I wanted to say, do people like this? What songs do people like? What are they going to like? And after that, I was really able to narrow down my album from, hundreds of songs into, probably like 12, 13, 14 now. And all I can say is, this is a wave that a lot of people are going to like already, and that a lot of people do like already, from guys like Faygo, Kobe, Boofpack Mookie. But going back to that favorite artist question, I'd say like my biggest influences in terms of just their demeanor, their rapping ability, and their flow, I'd say Lil Yachty and Pierre Bourne, because I listen to those two guys a lot, but I also like to explore and listen to a lot of these Faygo songs and these new SSG Kobe songs, but I always find myself coming back to, T-Lop 4, T-Lop 5, Lil Boat 2, Nothing to Prove, Lil Boat 3, just listening through those songs, because those are the type of music that I like to make. I love the new school, mastered, digital sound trap 808s. I don't like stuff that doesn't sound appealing to the ear. I like my music to sound professional, but I still want to fuse it with that underground influence of SoFaygo, SSG Kobe, because honestly, that shit is sick. And I feel like if someone was to do that successfully, it would be insane. And I feel like I might have done it here, so you're about to see. And you'll generally find that almost every trap artist that blows up, and now even SSG Kobe and SoFaygo, are also turning to these types of digital, professional sounding beats, because that's the industry. And if I already have the industry at my fingertips with who I work with right now, and I already have my style, my creativity at my fingertips, as I do with all this work that I've done for this album, I think that I'll quickly become a name as long as people are able to hear this music.
Dope. Trying to look at the other stuff I had on here. Another thing I was looking for, I guess, is I know you can't predict like the future, obviously, like no one can, but if you thought about it, I guess, ever, what would you think your style in the future, what do you think your style is going to be going forward, related to that other question, like in the future, like even after this project comes out?
Yeah, I'll say this, again, as many times as I need to. Plug and B is the future of rap. Trap music is getting to the point where people are starting to realize the negative influence that the lyricism has when you're talking constantly about violence, drugs, guns, disrespecting women, things like that. And while that is a fun thing to talk about, and while it does generate, the energy that trap music originally created, Plug and B is a completely different wave of trap. It's a more peaceful wave of trap where, we want to speak on real life issues and mental health issues and things that really affect us from day to day. And when you're doing it over these calm, beautifully made melodic beats with these nice drums, peaceful but yet hard enough to still make it trap music, you really have something beautiful. And I think that even guys like, Summers, Can, Kobe on Kondo with Boofpack Mookie, Lil Tecca even, are starting to find these beats and starting to use these beats because they know it's the new wave. The future of trap is no longer, gang banging and violence. I'd say now the real issue facing our generation is, mental health and interpersonal connections and relationships. Social media has completely absolved us of social supremacy. And now we're very confused and angry with each other, and most relationships that are created are somewhat toxic or transactional. And I feel like we're really losing touch as a generation with what's right and not what's hype or exciting or gives you the most clout. And I think the Plug and B wave will help to mend some minds who have been dragged off in a different direction.
Sick. Yeah, and, that's crazy. Especially, because it's just, I don't know, I guess it's always been hard to dictate, what the sound is for the future, so it's kind of nice that, sometimes just, I guess, reflecting on it and being like, wow, this is definitely something new that might even work out in the future, might not. It all just depends on, only time will tell, right?
Yeah, exactly.
What is one thing that you alone stand out from other artists? What makes you stand out as an artist specifically from other people that you've either listened to or who you influenced by, as well as other things?
Well, you see me, most people see me and say, why the hell is this kid making trap music upon just looking at me? And the reality of it is, a lot of people are pressured against making music and achieving their dream and following their talent as a musician because they look like me. And people tell them, no, you can't do that. That's cultural appropriation, quote unquote. And I don't believe in any such thing, because if someone wants to learn something from me that I might know about, I'd be glad to teach them, as long as they're willing to learn and try and pick it up. Because that's what these guys have done for me down in Como, Dallas, Quincy, they taught me how to punch in. They taught me how to freestyle. They taught me how to do all this stuff. And I'm, of course, grateful and thankful for them, because that's the true power of humans collaborating and getting along with each other. When that happens, great things happen. And let me tell you something. Who I am as an artist right now is nothing like you've ever seen from any other trap artist before. Nothing like you've ever seen. And that's a result of, the fusion of character that I've gotten from the people I've come across. The difference between me and the average trap artist from the suburbs is my willingness to work with anyone, regardless of pressures, societal pressures, any type of pressure that I might feel. Because at the end of the day, I understand that learning from others only gives you a smorgasbord of style to choose from. It only gives you a bag as a rapper to learn from other people and work in the studio with other people. So once people start to figure that out like me, a lot of people like me will probably be just as good as I am at this. But for now, I'm the first of my kind.
That's great. It's just so hard to, I feel like, especially nowadays with so many people coming up in the scene, it's very hard for people to find out, what their true sound is, or, what they do best, and, what they could do going forward as well. It's just crazy.
Yep, absolutely. Hey, man, I appreciate you for doing this interview. I appreciate your time, man. I Could Dream Forever, August 13th, 2021. There it is. Let's go.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed the little interview. If you guys want a follow-up or a part 2 in some way, let me know. I'll hit up my man and we'll do a part two or a follow-up or something. But for now, I hope you guys enjoyed the little exclusive of what this channel is ultimately going to be and what type of things are going on. And yeah, again, I hope you guys enjoyed this. And for me, signing out. Peace.